Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Digital to Dice podcast. I am Dave.
I'm Ron.
And a little late this week. We had some delays. We had some, I had some work issues. Then we had some really bad weather coming out here on the East Coast, both rain and heat. And then one of us got sloppy drunk on another time, so that's why we haven't recorded until here on Sunday.
Sloppy drunk.
Yeah.
One Bloody Mary.
When you after that Bloody Mary, you gave me a phone call and I couldn't understand a word you were saying. It was.
Dave, you understood it all too well.
I could see where you're coming from. But anyway, we are here with episode 102 today. Boy, we had back-to-back fantastic episodes.
Yeah, we did. Between Dave Cook, most listened to episode in show history.
Yep.
And a great time with Al Wilson. So this is 102. This is the Yacht Rock Radio edition.
Yes, it is.
Virtual cornucopia of your fourth and fifth favorite songs of all time.
Everybody has a 102 in their FM dial somewhere.
That's right, yeah.
Anyway, hey, ways to get a hold of us. Digitaltodice.com is our website. Dice, by the way. That's how you spell it, .com. 978-751-DICE is the Dice line, 978-751-3423. Digital2dice@yahoo.com is the email. And over on our growing Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/digital2dice. And that is up to, what did we say, 700 or 800 now? Or?
Oh, it's over 800.
Is it over 800 now? Yeah, that's...
Speaking of Facebook groups, our friend Dave Little and his sports simulation and replay group over at Facebook has just topped 2,000 members.
Holy cow, 2,000 for a sports sim.
So it's doubled in the last 2 years, which is just absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, it's great to see a lot of fellow gamers, on there and sharing their projects and helping out other gamers and the whole bit. That's what's really great about that.
By the way, I've only impaired dialed you once, and that was after a certain cup of coffee, iced coffee.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was just like, Dave, I love you. I think I'm gonna die. Bye. And I was just like, wait. Can you send me some of the codes to some of your games first?
You are such a cards and letters to Dave Gardner is a putz at.
That's too funny. Hey, today we're gonna talk about sales. Do sales help sell games? And the answer might not be as clear cut as you think, and we're going to get into that a little bit on our show as our topic. So you were going to say something before we get into what we're playing? No,
it was just a smart aleck remark to whatever you set me up with before you.
Hey, that's what we do. That's what we do. All righty, so let's get into what we've been playing.
Go ahead. Spend the next half hour telling us what you're playing.
I actually have been playing some things. I've been in a gaming funk, as you know, for most of August, and I guess it's just my August blues, summertime blues, with just all sorts of crazy things happening that I don't play as much. But I did play a Tony Esposito tribute game using Action PC. They took on the North Stars and Gump Worsley, and a big comeback at the end for Chicago, and they won that tribute game for Tony O. So I had played that. I played some golf using Inside the Cup. I keep talking about this. I really have kind of turned my whole attitude around toward the inside sports games. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't know what they were. I didn't, this and that. We jab a little bit of fun out of them. But boy, once I got into them and kind of realized how they play, I really liked them. I still think they would be a fantastic game. They're a good game. It would be a fantastic game if the computer would sim some of the games, especially in the hockey, because that would be my go-to season PC hockey replay game. But you have to play every game. You can't sim anything like you can with Strat or Action PC. I just like how it does the stats. I like the look and feel of it. I like how it gets a little bit more. And it's a cards and dice port that gets really deep, like Apple Hockey. That's why I really like it. But it needs to do the Sims so I can play the games I want and sim the other ones and then still play a whole season.
Gives you more of a flavor of a season as opposed to
and I know they'll the
replays.
The idea this was supposed to be a cards and dice port, and cards and dice is no simming. I kind of get that, but it's a computer game, and that's why we play computer games, is to do some of that heavy lifting for us. So I still enjoy the game. In fact, I played that for game one of the finals. I used Inside the Crease for my game one. Rick Middleton scored with 5 seconds left as they Bruins.
Explain what that is. This is the Dave Gardner project.
Yeah, this is the 77-78 playoff product, NHL playoff product that me, you, and Al were playing. Al, you, and I were playing. Mm-hmm. And I finally fired up the finals, game one.
Between Montreal and Boston.
Yeah, Boston at Montreal in game one. And Bruins tied it in the third, and Rick Middleton scored with 5 seconds left. And Bruins have a 1-0 lead in the finals. And I used Inside the Crease to play that game there. But like I said, I was playing Inside the Cup golf there before that. That's what I was getting at. Inside the Cup golf. That's just a fun, relaxing golf game. It is. Sometimes that's what I want late at night, to kick back. I enjoy golf, but golf to me needs to be a relaxing game, and that's what this one does for me. It doesn't challenge me, and I'm fine with that, because I just enjoy rolling the dice or watching the dice roll and figuring out where the ball is and following along. And I just enjoy that in my games. When I'm in a very, just kind of, okay, I'm just relaxing here, and I just don't, I don't want to think too much. I just want to enjoy something. That's a very enjoyable golf game inside the Cup. So that's kind of been it. The Tony O game, game one of the Stanley Cup Finals, and my project there. Bruins Canadians, and then a little bit of golf, and yeah, I think that's about it. So many other products, like I said, just waiting for me to kind of get back into high gear and tackle that. So I think probably like Labor Day's coming up in a couple of weekends, so that's kind of the reset button for me. That's when things kind of go back to normal, and the nights
cool,
it gets cool at night, and I get a little bit more gaming time at that point there, because I wanted to set up and play some Apple hockey, but if I want to stream it, I got to set up a lot of lights, and it's really kind of hot and sticky to try to set up a big production like that. So that's why I just been going to the PC games. It's just a little cooler, and that's why we haven't been recording as like on the usual days, because it's like 80 degrees in your apartment, and y'all like, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I can't cool down my basement. We're just hot and sticky. It's like, yeah, we don't want to record hot and sticky, At least maybe the other podcast we do, hot and sticky, is fine, but not this one.
So
nothing on that one.
So who did you tend to? Who's your co-host for the body painting one, hot and sticky? Certainly not me.
The body painting one. It's too hot and sticky to body paint. You can't do that. It doesn't stick. So.
Moving on.
Moving on. So what have you been playing?
Moving on. So, what have I been playing? My 49 project has reached the World Series.
Okay.
And as we tape this on a Sunday, the Yankees have a 3-1 lead on the Brooklyn Dodgers. And for as kind of a dud as the American League race was, I mean, the Dodgers and Cardinals went to a best-of-3 playoff, which the Dodgers won. That's right, because they haven't done this in a while. 1 in 2 games. The World Series has been fantastic. Every game, kind of a nail-biter. Misplays by the Dodgers in one of the games, and Game 5 was one bad pitch that Joe DiMaggio smashed into the upper deck of left field, and that was it. It was a 1-0 final. So the World Series, although it's kind of lopsided as we tape this, has been everything you'd want playoff baseball to be. They've all been very dramatic. Both teams have had chances to win and all that. What else have I been playing?
Isn't that great when you do a project like that, especially playoffs, and the games are great? This 77-78 hockey playoff project that
fantastic. It's really been fun.
I could probably count on one hand how many games were just horrible games. Everything was just close and tight and down to the wire. Every game was good, I think. There was 1 or 2 dogs maybe, but
you're going to get that because you could.
Yeah, I mean, even the first round was good, and even some of the high-low matchups, the games were quite good and quite close, and it was really fun. And I noticed, like I said, your baseball games have all been like nail-biters,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what you like to see.
Absolutely. Let's see. I started a new for me project, just kind of to keep it simple gaming. Red Sox, obviously, the team of who I root for the most in baseball. And so I went back and grabbed the 77 season in Strat. And playing Super Advanced on the computer, I shut off the injuries, but I only had 25 players for the entire year. And so that'll be an interesting project. So, yes, it's kind of cheating that they can't get hurt, but The Red Sox pitching in 77, well, they couldn't.
And this is you said Strat?
Stratomatic Super Advanced.
Strat PC, okay.
So Strat PC.
And you can set that up. You can set up no injuries and 25 guys, and you can
25. Yeah, as carded. It's an as carded replay
Okay.
as opposed to normally what I do is as played. The computer doesn't lineups, and so it makes suggestions, and I can override them. For instance, there's only 2 catchers, Carlton Fisk and Bob Montgomery, and Bob Montgomery only had 40 at bats that the entire season. And so Carlton's going to catch a lot behind the plate. So it's a juggle.
Wasn't he the last guy to hit without a helmet?
Yes.
I remember him going up to the plate. This old man going up to the plate. And it's like no one's gonna.
He looks ancient.
It's like no one's gonna throw at him. yeah. It's like, really, it's like if I was him, I wouldn't want a helmet because no one's gonna throw at him. You know, he just was not a guy you throw at.
He caught without a helmet. Yeah, obviously in a face mask, and he hit without a helmet, and didn't hit very often. But by God, this team can't pitch. It's just get me 6 innings and let's hope that keep it to under 4 runs. Okay. Anyway, that's a bit of fun. I've been playing a lot of Action PC Golf because I bit the bug. The 2000s decade deep discount, I think $32. So it's like $325 a season, and you get with each season for Action PC Golf, you get every golfer that played that year and all the tournaments, not necessarily all the courses. And then you have a setting where you can use the actual fields. So if Tiger played you could do an incomplete Tiger Woods replay, for instance. And that makes it kind of cool because it's as close to a simulation as you're going to get. And it's fun. And my God, that Tiger card is out of a 10, Dave rates his games from, players from 0 to 10. Tiger's 2000 card, that's the year he won 3 of the 4 majors in a row, is a 935.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Now, he lost a tournament he won. I just finished the Tournament of Champions at Kapalua. And his putter failed on the last day. And Duffy Waldorf, of all people.
Nice.
Duffy Waldorf just putted lights out. I mean, Tiger got legitimately beat. But yeah, I mean, he was playing in the last group there, and it's kind of like, getting behind the wheel of a Lamborghini or Ferrari. That car is going to do everything you want it to do and more.
Yeah.
And that's the way that Tiger is. He can hit long. That particular year, he could hit straight, and he could putt. But when he doesn't make putt, it's drive for show and putt for dough. So that's pretty much sports-wise what I've been playing. Al Red Sox fan and I did the beta stream for Pro Strategy Football 2022. And I think we can say that, we hope to have carry on right around the time of the release. A lot of good stuff in that one. And, of course, gems. I think that's been pretty much it, but very fun. And, again, when it gets too hot, if you've watched my YouTube videos, you know where I tape. And there's a portable air conditioner that does its best to keep this room cool. But there was a week where it was 80 during the day in here.
Yeah.
81, 82.
I find the portable air conditioners, of all the air conditioners, those are the worst at getting it done. It's just how they are. Yeah. I mean, the best one is obviously the central air. And then after that is the big honking ones you put that make 100 decibels or 1,000 decibels, of noise in the window, but they cool you down, but they also blast your ears out.
They blast your eardrums. And because our windows open from side to side, not up and down,
and you can't use one,
not allowed to have them here in the bedroom /office /studio. There has to be a portable one, which is fine. The 80% of the time it's not 95 degrees out with the humidity.
We had one time.
It feels comfortable in here, but
we had one time. It was not doing anything, and I was just like, let's just get rid of this, bring it back to the store. It just and I know that's your only option, but I'm just saying that is
in a room of this size. Yeah, I think it works okay, but it was just over.
Yeah,
it's kind of like being the not emergency goalie, but the backup, and you're facing either the 85 Oilers or the 92 Penguins. okay, you can stop all your friends, and you might have dominated in the Calder Cup, but you're staring down Gretzky, Curry, Lemieux, Yager,
I can't keep up. Yeah,
Paul Coffey, and we'll say.
And it's tough. You're on the top floor, the 20th floor of the Chateau de Jacquet. So I mean,
Chateau de Jacquet. Actually, we're on the 4th floor of where I live, and
I imagine it gets hot.
We get morning sun, so it heats up rather fast.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. So yes, you've been baking over there, and
20 minutes a pound. Sarah says I'll be ready by Thanksgiving.
All right. So that's why. So I like I said, the heat's been kind of preventing me from really enjoying some games, and it's been kind of preventing you from doing some things. So hopefully now, as we enter the last week of August, things will kind of cool down. At least at night. The night is when you like it to be nice and cool, and we're heading into my favorite month of September, and that's kind of
as long as it's comfortable to sleep. And that's the thing. It's one thing if to be hot during the day, you can shut off lights and run fans at full speed and hope that the pet decides that you're not their favorite pillow, which happens a lot. But if you wake up in the morning and your weather app says it's 78 degrees at 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your thermostat in here and it says 80. It's like,
when it's 78 degrees out when you wake up, it's going to be a tough day. That's for sure. But right now we're actually I think we've avoided that hurricane to come up here this week. That's why we didn't record the other day, because we had torrential rain, and I was like, I'm not trusting the power to stay on during this torrential rain, so that's why we didn't record late last week. In fact, my street was flooded to a point where my sister-in-law was visiting her mom, who lives on my street, and she stopped by and says, guess what? I can't go home because the road is flooded. We can't get out of your road, so I got to sit here. So we ended up watching TV for about an hour while it did the draining there. But it just, and she showed me some more pictures today. The entire street, and we got the street coming out of my area. It's probably a couple of football fields long. It's maybe 3 football fields long, and the whole thing was flooded. It was like, wow, yeah, this is not just a small thing. This is a big deal. So, so we avoided that today. That we had a little bit of rain this morning, but luckily that the hurricane not only slowed down and de-intensified, but it went inland a little bit, and that kind of killed it. So I think we're going to be okay.
Oh, Al is hopefully not out there flying kites. Our storm drains get full of gunk from either garbage or stray leaves, branches, whatever. And so it doesn't take much. It's a really hard rain here will flood our street. And we live on a pretty main thoroughfare in the city. So but it's kind of hard to do that during the middle of the storm. But yeah, they get clogged pretty quick, and not dangerous level of flooding, but enough to realize that
everything backs up. It's ridiculous how fast water can build up. But the good thing is it's how fast it goes down too, because I go by now, there's no you don't even remember that. It's like, oh, it's all gone. You're great.
You live close to the ocean, and we live close to the lake, but there's a couple of good sized ledges between the top of the hill, which is where the university is. We're in the middle of a ledge, and then the lake is way down, like a ravine from where we are, and so it takes a bit. So yeah, but so hopefully we're gonna miss that. Hopefully Al's safe over there, and anybody else in the New England area. South of us is getting hit pretty bad. Rhode Island is getting hit pretty bad, so hopefully everybody's okay over there. But anyway, all right, so should we move on to the topic of the show? Absolutely.
Alrighty, so let's talk about sales, Ron. And does having a sale, does that get you to buy a game? What kind of sale does it have to be? Is it a certain discount? Do they throw in certain goodies and things like that? So let's talk about that. And the reason why I got thinking about this is because there's still a lot of games on my list to get. As we all do. We don't have all the games. That's for sure. And as many as we have, there's still a lot out there that we don't have. So I'm kind of looking at getting some ones here, and I'm not talking about expensive ones. I might even talking about just games that are $5, $10, $20 too. There's all kinds of different games out there that I look at and I bookmark and I write down. Oh, I like to try this and try that. But I think what it comes down to is if you're unsure about a game, or if you're not familiar with the game and they don't have a demo of any kind, like some games have a demo, like some PC games have a demo, some cards and dice games have a couple of teams you can play, maybe.
A couple of teams or some detailed play.
Yeah, just something so you have an idea what you're getting into, because there's nothing worse than having no clue on a game except for a couple of YouTube videos, which sometimes really do a good job showing off the game, and other times, through no fault of the creator of that video, they just don't show the game. And I'm looking at you, History Maker Golf, because no matter how many videos I saw, this game blew away every video that I saw in a good way. You know what I mean? And just, I don't think nobody could make a video that showed off how good History Maker Golf is, because once you play it, it's nothing like watching somebody play it. That's one of those weird games where as much as I saw people play History Maker Golf on the videos, when I played it, it was 10 times better.
Yeah, you've said that.
And again, it's not that anybody put out a bad video. It's just this game is that good.
One of the things that makes doing instructional videos tough is the game. Hopefully you know it by the time you're making that. And so you've got to slow down and explain something that is probably routine in your head to someone that isn't understanding it, and
that's not easy.
It's a challenge and a half.
Yeah, because you have to put yourself in the mindset that this person doesn't know anything about this, and I was in that spot at one point, so I got to think back to it. But it's hard because you tend to skip over things that you take for granted that this person will not know. So I like if I can get a demo, at least I can try the game of some kind, or like I say, a walkthrough or something. And I know videos help a little bit, but sometimes you're just like, man, even if I'm going to spend $20 in a game, you hate to spend that $20 in a game you know very little about, and you're not sure if you're going to like it. I guess that's the big thing. Am I going to like this? Am I going to play this and hate it? And we've all done that. We've all bought a game, spent the money, and an hour later, like, don't like anything about this game. It's just not for me. Some people love it, and that's fine. For me, it's just not for me. And you feel like you've wasted your money, and it might not be a lot of money, but it's the idea that you spent money that's gone, and
it's not going to be entertaining. Now, if you go to the movies and watch Priscilla Lays an Egg in 3D, and you don't get your $12 worth of entertainment out of that, well, that's that. And you'll forget about it by the time you get to your car. But yeah, I think there's a little more when you own something. I think you want to make sure your money's well spent. And I know for a few of you out there, your gaming money's rather limited. Mm-hmm. If you live on a fixed income, or you've got other things going on, and you're kind of on the fence where $20 is a big deal, then yeah, you want to make sure you're going to not only get your money's worth out of it, which I think depends on you can play it for an evening, and you can play it for 2 evenings or whatever. Or can I just do this a ton and to make that money worthwhile? And so
it's really hard too when someone asks you, or you ask somebody, how is this game? And you know what they're saying? They're saying, look, I'm not sure about it. I'm looking at you.
You're on the fence. You don't know.
Yeah, yes. You've played it. What do you think? Boy, it's really hard because what I might love, you might not.
Right.
And what you might love, I might not. And that's the beauty of games, is because there's something for everybody. And some people like this, yeah. And so
there are games that you like that I don't, and there are games that I love that you want. Put it away. I'm not interested in seeing that. And so there's a reason why you and I don't really do a lot of that, because as you said, what you might like for a game and what I might like for a game and the you out there might like for a game are 3 different things.
Yeah. So it's always hard when someone asks you, hey, what do you think about it? Well, it's, that's why, like I say, I'll try to do a video, or I'll try to talk about it a little bit and give you an idea. But again, there's only so much I can do because I don't know your individual taste.
Right.
So getting back to the sale aspect of it, if there's a game that I'm not real familiar with, and maybe I've done some research on it, maybe there's not a lot out there on it, or maybe there is, And I like I say, if it was on sale, I would be more apt to give it a try.
Let me give you some examples on that. When you're buying a game for the first time, a lot of the games in our community, the full play games, $45 to $60 first time through. Action PC, if you've never bought it before, it's not on sale. They're deluxe, which is the current version of whatever season, and a couple other goodies thrown in, and whatever the generic toss in is, that's $50. If you've never played an Action PC product, that's an awful lot to ask for. If something that you might end up after 3 weeks going, this is whack-a-mole. I'm not really interested in doing that. That's a pretty steep curve to go into. History Maker Baseball, I think, is what, 57. Again, nothing wrong with that. Charge what you need to charge, because
right.
That's all done on beautiful card stock, and you get a personalized letter from either, I think, Keith,
and all the charts done up really nice.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
They, you get a tremendous card product for that. But again, the entry fee for getting that, am I going to like how this plays for the cost that I'm going? And so, yeah, if you see something that's 10% off or 20% off, or your choice of season in addition to what you get there, some sort of carrot to go with it, you're more inclined to do it than you are if, like, no, I got the car payment coming up next week. I've seen a couple videos on this game. I need to be able to drive to work, as opposed to, I've seen this and that. Other things with seasons. Different people should charge what they want to for a season. But if let's say you're watching, I've done this, the greatest hits of Barry Sanders, and you have a football game of choice going, oh, I remember that run. I remember falling asleep from the turkey coma on Thanksgiving as he butchered the Bears, ran 86 yards, and somehow even Dick could miss a tackle. I want that season. And you go to look for it and go, oh,
yeah,
no. But, throw it in a bundle. And so yeah, I think the first part I think we would say is that if you put something on sale and you're kind of on the fence, that may be a little more of an incentive to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, because I think the last thing you want is buyer's remorse, where you spend money on a game and you're like, wow, yeah, I didn't like this. I was told I would like it, and I don't, or I was told I wouldn't like it, and they're correct, I don't like it. But if you spend less on a game, it takes the sting out of it. And
if there's a $10 game you don't like,
yeah. But I mean, even if it's a $10 game and it's on sale for $8, you know what I mean? It takes some of the sting off. That's like, well, I tried it, didn't like it, never played again. Okay, it stinks. I'm out $8, but I'm not out 10. You know what I mean? That attitude. Whereas if you buy a game, at full price, and then you don't like it, you tend to get a little mad at the game. Is that wrong to say? Because
no, not at all. It's like, why did I waste this money? And you get mad at yourself. I remember doing that when I worked at the card store. And I bought a box of, now I got a discount because I worked there, Gypsy Queen. Nice looking cards. But by the time I finished opening them, I was like, there is absolutely I didn't get that much, my enjoyment from opening the box was not X, even with a discount. And when I looked through what I had, there was nothing that said, I've lost money on this. And so, yeah, and you get, stupid product. No, you get mad at yourself because you're the one that wasted the money. You thought you'd get either the hit, or in a gaming sense, you'd get what you were looking for. Like, no, I can't make heads or tails out of this. And,
I just think some of the games we go in kind of blind to the games because we're not really sure about it. Like with video games, when you get a video game, you play it, and then if they come out with the greatest video game ever 2, well, if you play the greatest video game ever 1, you have an idea what you're getting into. But I've done that with video games where I spent $60 on a video game and I got it home and I play for a half hour or so. I'm like, this is horrible. No
Man's Sky, did you get sucker into that? Because that was a $60 game that at release was god awful.
Well, let me me tell you, I got No Man's Sky, and it was awful. And that guy took a lot of heat, and that company took a big hit. But you know something? Within a year or so, they had updated that game.
Well.
And now I haven't played it in a while, but I enjoy that game. They added things to that game that really made it fun without changing the core of the game too much. Whatever they did, they fixed it. Like whatever they described it was going to be when it come out, it wasn't that. And I think that's what made people mad. And then they fix it. It's like, okay, here's the game we wanted to make a year later. Well, why did you put this game out and call it this when it was not even close to that? So, yeah,
right.
that's one of those games that one of the few that have kind of rebounded and made a comeback on that. But there's been some.
Now, we should explain what No Man's Sky is to those of you.
No Man's Sky. It was supposed to be a game where you wake up on a planet and you have a ship, and you gotta go around on this planet and fix the engine, and then once you get the engine fixed, you can fly around. And the idea was you can fly anywhere in the universe. Okay, and you actually leave the planet, and there's no load scenes. So you leave the planet, you get into space, you can go trade for a better vehicle, go to different planets, go to different solar systems, and there was some kind of a end goal in the game to get to the center of the universe or whatever it was. But the idea was just a big sandbox of space. And at first it kind of wasn't that. It was really weird. And then they opened it up and they put in a sandbox mode where just you couldn't get stuck anywhere and die. And that made it so much fun. I enjoyed kicking back and flying to a planet, seeing what was on there, discovering some of the things on the planet, meeting new animals and whatever. And it was just a relaxing thing there. But so that's what No Man's Sky was flying around on a spaceship and just chilling out. And but yeah, when that first came out, that was terrible. So I did. I bought that when it first came out. I was very bummed about it, but they fixed it, and I'm glad they did. But there's other games that I picked up on video games that just no matter what they were, and I was like, wow. And then you're stuck. You know, especially if you bought them digitally, you bought them and there's no returning them.
Yeah, you can't return it.
Yeah, at least if you bought it on a disc or a CD, you could sell it on eBay or something, get something back for it or trade it in.
Get my $4 worth of credit at EB when you can do Electronics Boutique.
Yeah, but at least there was something there. So you buy a $60 game, like this is terrible, and you trade it in the next week, and you get $35 or $40, but it's something anyway, Whereas if you bought it electronically and you're stuck with it, you can't do anything with it, But there was some of that madness with video games too, where I bought a game, it's like, man, I took a chance in this game, and I really felt like I don't want to say I got snookered, but I bought something that I don't enjoy. And I'm mad at myself now, and I'm mad at that game, exactly. And I'm going to talk bad about that game because I don't like it, and I paid full price for it. Whereas if the game was on sale, you tend to forgive that a little bit, is what I'm getting at. So I think we all kind of have this number in our own head of the value of a game that we're looking to buy. I guess
value of a game, and for those of us who are married, what are we going to be able to spend without not getting into trouble for it?
Yeah, well, that comes into play too.
What?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, you're looking at this game, and the price is X, and sometimes X is a good value for you, and sometimes X is not a good value. And if it goes on sale, it takes that edge off, and you're like, now I might give it a try, because if I don't like it, I'm out less. And I hate to go in there thinking that I'm going to not like a game, that's for sure. But there's been some games. And there was one game on the PlayStation 4. It was a futuristic game. Boy, I can't think of the name of it now. It was about mechanical dinosaurs, mechanical animals. And it was about this cave girl. It was actually a cave girl with a bow and arrow that fought the mechanical. And it was like a futuristic thing, almost like like Planet of the Apes, where it was like the humans were the lowest species, but instead of apes taking over, it was technology that took over. And for the life of me,
sounds like Planet of the Apes meets Tomb Raider.
Oh, I can't think of the name of this game. I'll think about it in a minute. But that game there, I picked that up on sale for $20, and it was probably my game of the year when I played it. And I felt guilty actually that I only spent $20 on it because how much time I put into this game, and it's like I felt like, geez, that's a $60 game all day long, maybe more. And I got it for $20, and I felt bad. That I only spent $20 in this game. So this one went the other way, where it's like, wow, this game is phenomenal, and I didn't. These guys only made $20 instead of $60, and that's too bad because that was a great game. I think they're actually coming out with a sequel for that game too. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But this still, like I say, I have a lot of cards and dice games and cards and dice PC games that are still on my radar. And one of them I did pick up was the Strat PC Football. Mm-hmm. That was I think it was a half price sale for the football game, right?
It was one of the early Flash Tuesday sales.
So
it might have been the first.
I got that, I don't know if it was $20 or $22. I think I even picked up.
You got a good, because you didn't get the card option for it, so you actually got a very good.
Yeah,
deal.
I picked up the bare bones. I picked up a season 81 so I could play it, and I've only played it a little bit. I still got to do a first look video on that one but that's one of those things where if I play it and I don't like it, I'm not out the full price. In fact, I got it for half price. So now it's like, I'll take a chance for half price. I will take the chance. And now, I don't say my expectations are lower, but if I don't like it, I'm more okay than I would be.
I mean, that's at half price, that's pizza and a six. You're not out too much. At full price, that's a date night without drinks. If you think of it that way, or whatever, or concert tickets, or whatever. How else could you spend that money and be enjoyable?
That game, by the way, is called Horizon Zero Dawn. I just looked it up.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. And that's one of those games where I was big into video games at that point, doing the Game Hounds podcast. And we saw the previews for that. And I said, nope, not interested. A caveman in the future fighting, robotic dinosaurs, not interested. Not something I'm interested with. And when it went on sale for $20, and we're talking about sales, when that went on sale for $20, I says, how can I not get it? How can I not get this at $20? It was the game of the year. Everybody raved about it. I'm not spending $60 on it. And that's the one I bought. And I was like, wow. After playing it, I would have spent $60 on that. It was good. And when I first saw the videos, I was not interested. And then I got it, and I absolutely loved it. So
that for me.
So that was a sale that sold the game.
That was worth it. For me, there's a couple. Within the last couple of years, I'd always kind of hemmed and hawed at Roberto Civini stuff. Not that the price was ever too expensive to try one of those things, but what are you going to be offering me for the price that you're saying? And again, there's nothing in Roberto's catalog that is even close to overpriced. But what am I going to get for the experience? And he ran some sort of sale, and I'll bite. And okay, you sold me over with it. So that's one of those things. I think the first time I bought an Action PC product, I think it was, I looked at it, and this was early YouTube, before I got into doing YouTube stuff. So there wasn't really any place to look, and it's like, again, one of those, here's a size that, we don't really have $50 worth of fun money to spend for that. That's something I gotta, okay, that's Social Security check, that's retirement fund money in order to do that. Do I do it? And I think he knocked $10 off that particular week. Okay, for $40, I gotta do it. And
it was just enough.
Just enough to say, okay, I'll dip my proverbial toe in the water and see if I like it. And obviously, from the amount of Action PC stuff that I've done over the last 5 years, I hate all their stuff. You know that. And then there was the Christmas sale. I was like, okay, I could get 50 seasons for $150, and that's.
I did the same thing. I have all the hockey seasons pretty much,
right?
And I stacked up on football, so you chip away at it when they have the sales. Like, oh, this is a decent sale, and the whole bit. For me, Payoff Pitch was the big one, and I think it was last Black Friday. I think it was. That he had the Payoff Pitch sale for the PDF, and it was like ridiculously affordable.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I was like, so I grabbed that, and I grabbed a bunch of seasons, and I like I say, it's one of those games that I really like. I haven't played much because I'm not a big baseball guy, but I do not feel guilty about that sitting in my drawer over here because I know that I didn't spend a lot on it, that I do like the game, and anytime I could I could pull that out, and maybe I'll be on a kick, and I'll play that for a few weeks nonstop, So that's one where I took a chance because there was such a good sale. And so sometimes when you have that big sale, you know, in 10% usually doesn't get me to buy. Be quite honest with you. 10% is your everyday, oh, look, 10% off Netflix this month. I mean, that's how I look at that. You know, 10% is just not much. You get up to 20, 30, even 50% off something. Now you got my attention. Now I might buy a game that was not going to buy. You know, so again, so
if I like it, super.
Yeah.
And if I don't, well, again, it's a pizza and a six.
Yeah. So so do sales sell games? They can, but if you just throw up a 10% sale, and I understand these are not big companies, so I'm not picking on anybody here, okay, by any means. I know these are all usually smaller companies that we're talking about buying from, at least the cards and dice games, not the PlayStation games. So any kinds of sales is a big deal, but as a consumer, you know, when you gotta, you know, even if you offer seasons, it's like, hey, we're having seasons 20% off. Well, here's a game I haven't played in a few months that I do enjoy, and I had always wanted to pick up a couple of more seasons, but I didn't want to pay full price because maybe it's not that I don't like the game, it's just I'm not playing it as much as I am other games. And so, yeah, I will chip away at my seasons, but at the same time, you know, a 20%, 25% off, 50% off, 2 for 1, whatever it is, that will incentivize me to stock up on some seasons. And I did that with Strat Hockey, is that when they had their buy 2, get 1, I think it was, I was gobbling up every hockey season I could that they had in stock. And that's how I built up my Strat Hockey catalog, was the 2 for 1.
Especially with the cards and, you know, printed cards games or cards and dice games, you never know when they're going to be available again. And cards and dice don't, if you store them well, they don't get tired, they don't get rusty and moldy, and they don't die on hard drives. And if you play it, fine. If not, if someone else wants it, you know, there's a secondhand market for that as well. But yeah, just to it makes a difference to grab. I think you and I are both a bulk buyer. It'd be like the Costco thing. I just don't want one roll of toilet paper. I want 48.
Yeah.
You know,
we think value now. We think if I can get one roll of toilet paper for $2, or I can buy 50 rolls of toilet paper for $50. Instead of $2 a roll, it's $1 a roll.
You're gonna have
And so so buying in bulk sometimes is the way to go. And that's another thing too. You know, if you have bulk sales, you know, if you buy a bunch and, you know, hey, the more you spend, the more you save. You know, is it the Dave Cook that you spend over $100 or $200 and
you get 20% off any purchase over $100?
Yeah. So how many, you know, $110, $115 purchases have you made to get that extra deal?
If you pay the regular price for, let's say, a decade of your favorite sport, that $100 or $110 turns to $80, $85 instantly.
Yeah.
Just because of that, it promotes.
And again, I get so many hockey and football seasons with the Cook games that I'll never play any of those seasons, and I know I won't. But the idea that I can play them, that I do have them, that at any time if I get the itch, they are there for me to play, and to know that I got them on a sale or a bulk discount, or I bought a decade plus I went over $100. You know, there's no guilt whatsoever that I'm not playing these games, because I even though I have money invested in it, I don't have regular price.
If it's $3 a season, then exactly.
Yeah.
And you never know. I mean, no, I'll never play anything from probably 3/4 of the stuff I have from Dave. But it's there if someone says, my first game was a 1956 NBA game between Boston and Syracuse. Could you play that for me? I can.
Yeah. But even sometimes, like, you'll see something on YouTube or on TV or something, and you see a highlight of a game, like Boy, that'd be a fun game to play. Oh, I have that season. I'm going to go out and just play it. I'm not going to stream it. I'm just going to go out and play it and have something. And sometimes I might not even finish it, especially the football game, because it's a longer game, because it's play-by-play. And we talked about play-by-play football games being long, and you can't help that.
But it scratches that itch.
Yeah, and I'll play a quarter or a half or something like that. And just, okay, fine. I got it out of my system. I'm glad I had that season, And it's been sometimes I would buy a season just to play that half of a football game, just to do something there. But so for me, it really depends on the game. How bad do I want to play this game? How intrigued am I about this game? And that'll determine if I would pay full price for it, or if I definitely need some kind of a sale or a discount for me to get into this game. Or are you going to throw in some seasons or anything like that? The more incentives, the more chances that I would pick up a game, especially a game that I'm not sure of. There's some games I like Shootout. I'm going to get the new season no matter what. I mean, that's what it is for me. Or if they come out with a classic season, I'm not going to hesitate. And there's a lot of games like that if they come out with a classic season that I don't have, I don't even going to think about it. That's going to be a buy at full price. I don't care. But newer games or seasons that maybe I would play, maybe I wouldn't play, that might be interesting to have that season. I'd like to see something come off that price that would inch me closer to buying that, and again, taking that chance. And I hate to almost say it that way, because I'm assuming the game
sound cheap.
It makes it sound like that the game's bad in some way, but it's just not. We all have a value in our head. We know what we can spend on things, and you just don't want to buy something and not like it or not use it. And why did I spend the money on that?
On the other hand, I'm more inclined, if I buy something on sale and I like it, to pay full price for my next purchase. Okay, you hooked me in. Congratulations. Next time I'm not gonna blink twice about picking up the season or two seasons at the regular price. I like your product. I want to continue to play your product. It's just so I'll do it at your full price. And there's a certain game company out of someplace on the northeast coast currently getting hit by a hurricane that the mousetrap is so good, I'll pay the full price whether I want to or not. We're not mentioning any names. But you know where I'm going with that. Okay, fine, you got me. But again, the Replay family of games, I think I waited till there was a sale to try out the basketball game. And I went, oh, I like that. Oh, I definitely like that. And so, you pay full price for something, you help ensure that the game continues to be developed. Because in a lot of these cases, I'm not sure about how the Replay family works, but these are side jobs for people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. If I'm not selling this stuff,
that's one that's kind of weird, is because I'll go on Delphi, and I'll go into their folder there on Delphi, the Replay Sports, and they'll be like, big sale coming up, 20% off seasons, and it ended a week ago. And it's just, I'm like,
the email needs to be worked out with them.
And there's like 10 or 12 people that are like, I never knew about this sale. I didn't get and I responded, I didn't get the email either. And I would have absolutely picked up, another baseball season or a couple of basketball seasons for 20% off. And again, it's I would stock up on seasons on a 20% off sale for them, because I like their games and I like their products, but I don't play them enough to spend full price on a season. That's just me. So my value says
but you're not a huge baseball fan, and you're not a huge basketball fan.
Yeah. And another thing I was just thinking about too is sometimes, and I'm not going to mention any of the games I'm looking at, but there's a game that I have my eye on that I think I would like. And I watch the videos and research the game a little bit. It's like, I think I really would like this game. However, the amount of time I think I would have to play this game, I don't think I would play it all that much in my rotation. But I would like to play it. I would like to try it. I would like to play it. I would like to have that on my shelf, so if I wanted to play it, I could pull it out and play it. But for me, I know I probably wouldn't play it a lot. Not enough to justify a full price, if that makes sense. And it's not a knock on any of the games I'm looking at. There's like 6 games I'm looking at, and I'm like, boy, if I were to get a decent sale, 20, 25% off, I would grab that in a heartbeat. But for full price, it's like, I know I would play it a little bit, but then I don't know how much I would play it. Even maybe if I loved it, I would, because that changes everything. But there's a couple games I'm specifically waiting for a decent sale, not a 10% off, not we'll send you a free T-shirt if you order this, something financial off the price of the game, so I can say, okay, not that I feel like I'm getting less of a value from a product, but myself, the time played, if I would have put the hourglass and flip it upside down and see how much time I actually played this game, it wouldn't be a lot. So that comes into play for me too, is how much I'm willing to spend on a game what do I want to say, compared to how much time I will put into this game. Again, I go back to the No Man's Sky and to the Horizon Zero Dawn. I put in so much, especially Horizon Zero Dawn, I put in so much time into that game, Horizon Zero Dawn. I felt like I cheated them for buying it for $20. Okay, conversely, there's games I've spent $60 on and I played for a couple of hours, and I felt I got cheated out of that because now I spent $30 an hour on your game to play it because I only played 2 hours. Now, that's my fault because I didn't play more of it. But again, now I weigh that out.
Yeah, or again, where money's limited, your significant other knows that you spent the kind of money, and they're asking, this is more of a case when Sarah and I first got together, why aren't you playing this?
Yeah.
You spent $50 on this. And a lot of our partners are not necessarily sports minded, and so you could give a specific answer, but that's I might as well just open up a French book and go je suis Rani.
But it's funny you say that though, because you all the time will talk to me and you'll be like, Dave, play the games you got. Play the games you got. And right, I agree with that. I should play the games I got instead of going out and buying more. But my thing is that I might find a game that I pick up and I might love it, and that might go to the top.
And that's the window shopping element.
Where it's like if I just played the games I have and nothing else, I would not discover any great games. Is kind of how I look at that. Then again, there is a fine line between finding a great game and then playing every single game because I can't stop myself.
How many gigs I have in my DK Sports data folder?
Yeah. But you were saying about play the game you got. It's almost like if you bought like a season pass to the Subway across the street from your apartment.
Yeah.
You'd go to Subway a lot, and then someday you're like, something? I don't want Subway anymore. Even though I've already paid for this stuff, I want to go down the street, and I'm gonna go down here to the pizza joint and get a pizza today. Well, why would you pay for a pizza when you get free subs because you've already paid for these subs? Well, I want something a little different today. I don't want a ham sandwich today. I want a pizza today, and I think that's what we do with these games. As we talk about this all the time, each game does something a little different than the next one. No two games are exactly alike, and so we get different satisfaction out of different games.
Now, here's a curveball for you. Have you ever held off buying a game because it was always on sale?
No, that I haven't. If there was a game I was interested in and it was on sale, I'm more apt to buy it because I've missed a few sales.
If it's always on sale, it's kind of like the closeouts on the avocado green plates at Kohl's or something.
Yeah, no.
Set of dishes and
I haven't. No, I haven't. If there's a game that I'm interested in and it was on sale, even if it was on sale for months at a time, if I haven't bought it by then I'm not going to get it.
I'm not going to mention what it was that I didn't buy because of that. But yes, if I think that you don't have enough faith in your product, if to sell it for the MSRP of $24.95, if I'm always seeing it at $15.95, it tells me you don't have a lot of confidence in your product. And if you don't have a lot of confidence in your product, then why should I invest?
Oh, maybe it's just not a big seller. Maybe that's the other thing.
I understand that, but if it's always on sale, mean, when we had our Macy's downtown here in Burlington, you never bought anything at full price because you knew at some point it was going to,
Yeah.
you know, oh, you want that $70 polo shirt? Well, you know, in 2 months it's going to be on sale for $19.95, and lo and behold, it's
Yeah.
in your size and in your color for $20.
Well, I had that on Steam for the longest time. Is that I had 50
Seems a good example.
50
of
games
that.
on my wish list, right? And I had a lot of these games that were $4 or less on sale. No matter if they were $60 games or $10 games, they were like $4 or less. And I had them in my wish list for months at a time. And finally there was one day I said, you know something, I got all these games in my wish list. They're still, like you said, they're still on sale. Okay, no matter how new or how old they've been on sale for months. And I finally went in and said, look, if there's anything here under $5, I either buy it today or take it off my list, because if it's under $5 at this point here, love it or hate it, that's not a lot of money. So I either just buy this thing or I get it off the list, because it's not going to get any cheaper than this. This is as cheap as it's going to be. And so then I look at it and I bought a couple, and then the rest I said, yeah, no, I put them on my list for one reason. I can't figure out what that reason was anymore. It's not a game I think I would play. And even at $4.25, it's out of here. You know, or this one looks interesting, I'll get it while it's on sale, because I don't want to have it, you know, because I've had that happen before where there's a game, I want to play this game. Oh, I missed the sale. And then you got to sit around and wait, and you got the itch to play the game. It's not on sale.
Up the morning of January 8th, the morning after the Christmas Steam sale is over.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, man, I missed it. You know, how did I do that? But, so if it's on sale, and it's a decent enough sale, then I'll get it. Again, the 10% don't really do much for me. It doesn't move the needle all that much. But it depends on the game. There's some games I'm looking at that if they were to offer 10% off right now or a free shipping or something, I would probably go ahead and pull the trigger on some of these games I'm looking at. And there's others that, and again, the other thing is because we have multiple game disorder. We have so many games that, you know, I hate to say it this way, but I don't need to buy your game because I have enough games.
Oh yeah. I mean,
so
how many different cricket games do you need to own?
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I'd like to play your game. It looks fun. I see other people enjoy it, and I want to be part of the crew that enjoys your game. But I have enough to play right now that I can sit around and wait for a sale, whether it's Black Friday or Christmas or whatever it is. I might buy it and not even get to it till Black Friday at this point, you know.
Right.
So I don't mind hanging around a little bit for a sale for some of these games. And there's other times that it's like, no, I want to play it, damn it, right now, and I'll drop full price and I'll bite the bullet and say, please, I really hope I like this game. I hope I didn't make the wrong choice by picking it up, you know.
I think it gets harder now for all these companies because of the spread of shows like this and Sports Sim Magazine and YouTube videos, where you can now look to see what you're getting, reasonably so, and some companies are pretty active in promoting their own stuff through YouTube, so you get that look, which we wouldn't have necessarily had before. And you go back to when I was in high school, and opened up the Sporting News and Street and Smiths, and we've told this 1,000 times of, Appa and Strat just being abstract things that you would see in a magazine if you hadn't tried it, to now where you're finishing up my third full action PC season and baseball, and you've showed off. I think you've done a video on every hockey game that you have of some sort. Not every season, obviously, but you've
pretty much. Yeah, there's a couple that I haven't.
That you haven't shown off. Yeah, a couple.
There's a couple that I haven't shown off. There's a couple I have that are out of business, so there's really no sense in doing much with that. Although someday it might be fun.
Play the game.
Nostalgia to pull it out and say, hey, you remember this one here? You can't buy it anymore, but I'd rather show off something that people can buy.
Laurie Boschman Hockey, wasn't that the one you could get with a $10 fill-up at Esso's?
Yeah, I bought that off of eBay. Yeah, I was supposed to put that in my rotation of playing a Calico game. I should have done that, but it's just a generic game. There's no teams or anything like that. But yeah, I have that.
But my point being that, if it's a major hockey release, I think outside of one company, which I'm not going to mention, you've got the game. And so if they belong to your channel, they can go, I haven't seen Inside the Crease Hockey. Well, you, because you like the game, have 6 or 7 different videos on the game, and someone can get that. Or 20 years ago, oh, I've seen this. I've read about it. I read about it on the Delphi boards, but I wouldn't necessarily see it. And so I think it kind of gets tougher for the companies to do that because there are no real secrets anymore unless the game is brand new and none of us have played it.
Yeah. But I think, to get back to the videos, there's a lot of people who do some fantastic videos with these games. Yes. And I would rather see a regular person talk about a game than the company, because the company's going to show you what they want to show. And
it wants to sell it.
And they want to sell it. It's the best game ever. I get it. You see a regular person talk about it, they can tell you what they like and what they don't like. And you take for it what you will. And sometimes people say, I don't like this game because X, Y, and Z. I'm like, you know something? I think I like X, Y, and Z, and so I can see why you wouldn't like it, but I'm gonna like it. And other people say, "Oh, I love it because it is." It's like, yeah, okay, I can see that too, you know. And so I like when people do that there. In fact, my big long APA rant video, not a rant, my APA video I did a couple of months ago when I had that a whole sheet of paper of notes about APA hockey. And I said, okay, here it is, folks. Here's APA hockey. Here's what I've discovered. And I didn't play the game. I just talked about it and explained things. And because I kind of figured it out, you know. And I still get people thanking me for that video that just kind of was a regular person's explanation of how to play APA hockey. And I just cut to the chase. And I says, and there's some things that I said, don't do this. I don't do this. Do this instead. And even last night, myself and Al had a chat live on YouTube last night, and someone came in the chat room and said, I still watched that video of APA hockey that you did, and it was not a gameplay video. It was me just talking to the camera, going down a checklist of that game. Yeah. Because, again, it's a game that I really liked. It just needs a lot of clarification, and I think I clarified a lot of things in that video. And I'm not an expert, but as someone who spent a lot of time with it and learned it, I wanted to pass my knowledge on to somebody else, and some people got a lot out of that, so I'm happy about that. Turning back to the sales thing, just kind of wrapping it up, I think it really comes down to, the game itself. How interested are you in this game? How badly do you want to play this game? That's the first question I would ask. So the first checkbox: how bad do you want to play this game, and why? And that'll determine really what you will be willing to pay for this game. The second checkbox is, how big is the sale? Is it 10, 20% off, 50% off? Is it buy one get one? Are you throwing in a free season, a couple free seasons? I mean, what is the sale exactly? So that would be the second checkbox. And for me, it comes down to, like I say, what is the game worth to me, as far as how much enjoyment am I going to get? How much am I really going to play it is what it comes down to. Because, again, we all have so many games, and we by now we have our favorite games. And even though we have our favorite games, I still like playing other games. I play a lot of different games that are not my favorite. You know, I have a lot of hockey games, and everyone knows who my favorites are and who my favorites are not.
You like to, especially hockey games, you like to test them out.
But I still will go back and play some of the older hockey games that don't get as much love, especially on the channel, that I don't stream as much anymore. But I'll still go back and play them because it's hockey, and it's a little different than what I'm playing. So again, for me, it comes down to, how much would I play this game that I'm going to buy? And depending on what the sale is and how much I really want to play it and how much time I'm going to put into this game, that comes into if I would buy a game that was on sale. And again, I know we're talking about companies that are not these multi-million dollar companies, and
this isn't Activision.
No, it's not. But again, any kind of sale, there's. Again, it comes down to what's in your head a little bit. If I buy a game and I don't like it and I'm out $25, whereas if it's on sale for $19.99, I save $5. And now if I don't like it, well, I did save $5. Or if it's on sale for half price, you know what I mean? I'm willing to take a chance on a game that I don't know if I'm going to like, or I don't know if I'm going to play because I get it on a sale. And there's just something about that. in your head. It's all in your head usually, you know what I mean? Because $5, some people $5 is a lot of money. It's other people $5 is not, but it's the, like, again, the psychological.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. Psychologically speaking, $5 could sway whether you're gonna buy a game or not. And then again, if you were to buy it on sale and love it, then maybe you go back and you buy the next year's version at full price on day one, or you load up on seasons even though they're full price because you love that game so much. So, I think the idea is every game developer try to get that game in people's hands, and then then sell them next year's version, or get them some seasons on sale or whatever. So anyway, so we just wanted to talk about sales today, and how they don't always. It's not automatic that's going to sell you a game. It's really not automatic. Even at a 50% off sale, it might not sell me a game. I'd have to really. There's some games that I don't really have much interest in playing at all, and even at 50%, I was like, boy, I tell you.
I'd say, are you going to get your money's worth out?
Yeah, do I want to play Cricket Hero? Even if it's 75% off, boy, I tell you, am I really going to play cricket?
No, you're not.
So that's the thing. Is like that is, boy, I tell you, I don't think I'd be playing Cricket Hero. So for me, even if it was 75% off, that might not be, But again, it might be like, this might be kind of fun. Like we joke about the tractor pull, the Downey Games tractor pull. If that goes on a sale, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to have you play it on your channel. That may be kind of fun. But I mean,
I'll one off, and you're going to get that $9.95 out of it because.
But again, for me, that would be more of a way out of left field, completely out of the box thing for me that I would do once. As a lark, and that lark is not going to be a full price lark,
right? So
there's that whole other aspect too of playing some ridiculous games that boy, I'd never do this one here, So anyway, again, we told this back to the audience. What do you guys think? When it comes to games going on sale, what does it take you to buy a game? Or do you just buy a game if you want it? You don't care if it's on sale or not? I mean, do you wait for a sale? What does a sale have to be? I mean, I imagine it depends on the game, or it depends on the season it goes on sale. But we want to know, what are your thoughts when it comes to buying games as it relates to games being on sale? And on that note, let's wrap up episode 102. So by the numbers, Digital to Dice episode 102. And we talked about sales. Do they really sell games? Ways to get a hold of us. DigitalToDice.com is our website. 978-751-DICE is the dice line. DigitalToDice@yahoo.com is our email. And we're on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/digital2dice. Ron, thanks for joining me today.
As always.
Is it getting any cooler in that apartment?
78 in here, so we're right on the cusp.
Boy, you are right on the edge. Yep. So you better take off that black sweatshirt that you're wearing. Is that the one I got you?
Yes. That says I'm a sucker on it.
Say bye, Ron.
Goodbye, Ron.